Hey guys, and welcome to There's a New Tank Available Somehow, so here's a new video. Um, Basically, I'm gonna start by saying that this tank is an event tank. I do not know what kind of event it is, I do not know what you need to do for it, I don't know if you need to pay loads to make it to actually get the tank, or if it's going to be really easy, you can get it for free. I have no idea. The only thing that I know is that Wargaming told me that it's an event tank, so there is that. I'm legit hoping that it's going to be like an easy one to get, because this is a tank that, unless it's very cheap, I would not want to spend money on it. So I will go over all the stats with you and all, but that's sort of like a foreboding message to start the video with, basically. Now, the Skoda T45 is a European Tier 7 heavy tank. There's nothing really to compare it to. If I were to compare it to anything, it would be like an IS or an IS2 with a quicker reload. Because I kind of dislike both. I dislike the half mobility that it has with the not really any armor that it has, which is basically why I dislike most. Like, I like really armor tanks, I like really fast tanks. I like heaviums a lot, but it misses the troll armor. It does not really do all that well, so it's a bit meh. That's why I'm also saying that, like, I'm hoping that everyone can get it for free, because then it's not that bad a tank. It's not like a bad tank. It's not a tank that I personally like, and it's one of those, like, it's supposed to be a heavy tank. It doesn't have that much armor, and mainly the people that will struggle actually killing you will be basically bottom tier tanks that do not use calibrated or premo, probably. So there is that. Anyhow, the DPM for the Skoda T45 is 2227. It's got a penetration of 175, an alpha damage of 210. It has a rate of fire of 10.61 seconds, which means it reloads every 5.66 seconds. A caliber of 88, a shell velocity of 995, but that drops to 600 for the heat and the HE. And the reason that I mentioned that is that because I've actually noticed that while playing it, and that's a bit of a letdown. I always like my shells to go very, very fast. And yeah, this tank just doesn't really have that. So basically, that for me is the most redeeming feature of this tank. It's the gun. The gun is nice. The pen is okay. The reload is fine. It's more like you need to expose yourself to dish out all that damage, and you can bounce some shots like here. But it doesn't have the most armor, and that can really let this tank down. So the aim time is 3.16 seconds, which is quite a bit. The dispersion is 0.364. The gun elevation is 15 degrees. The gun depression is 7 degrees, which feels a bit like low, which is also one reason why I probably am not that big a fan of this tank, because I like to ridgeline, and this tank is not really made for that kind of gameplay. So it goes 37 km per hour forwards, 13 km per hour backwards, has an engine power of 490 and a power to weight ratio of 10.51. So this is basically, again, a thing that I struggle with, because on paper it sounds better than it feels when you drive it. Like, it's not super slow, but it feels sluggish to drive, and because of the combination of the armor not being all that great, or at least not feeling that great, because pretty much most of the things that you meet will pen you, and I think this tank will really struggle when you're bottom tier as well. So I kind of like hope then that the mobility is better than it is. That's probably why I'm struggling with the tank, to be fair. So the camo rating while standing still is 14%, while moving it is 7%, and after shooting that drops to respectively 3 and 2%. It's got a view range of 240 meters, an HP of 1600, a weight of 46.62 tons. It has a turret armor of 166 in the front, 80 on the sides and 52 in the rear, and a hull armor of 127 on the front, 96 in the sides and 48 in the rear. This is one of those tanks where I will typically want to bring a teammate with me, because then it will probably work nicely. If you're not the singular target for the enemy to focus on, or you're in a position where you have a bit of team behind you, a bit of support, then I think that this tank can do just fine. And of course there's always the RNG factor, because this is one of the funniest shots I've had in a long time. I'm aim, I shoot underneath him, you actually see me hit the sand behind him, and I'm like, how? What on earth? But yeah, later on I will have an RNG shot that's actually going in my favor, so there's that as well. RNG is a lovely random thing that keeps the game interesting, let's put it that way. So if you're in this tank and you do use a little bit of extra armor that I use and all of that, when you meet a tank that is like bottom tier and you are top tier, then it can actually work out nicely, because you will see that with me versus Yunu, he actually really struggles doing anything to me or against me. And yeah, that's something like, I think his tank might still be stock. Not sure what it is. I don't think he's using calibrated or premo. Because the thing is that it doesn't feel like this tank has a lot of armor. He actually shoots the sense as well, so there is that. But overall, I kind of like eat him alive slowly but surely, and he's really trying to focus on me, but he doesn't actually get any shot into me. So there is that, and then I just push him because I can easily take a shot from him now. So I've actually pulled the stats up for the IS and the Happy Chair to just have a look at the armor, because this tank, it just feels iffy when driving it, and like I did compare it to the IS tank before, with reason, because it's in a similar way that I can do well in this tank, I just do not like it. And that's why, for me, it kind of has the same feel of not really mobile and at the same time not really having any armor. It has some armor, of course, because you see me bounce shots, but you know what I mean. And it's actually like in the face the IS tank has a little bit less armor, but the whole armor of the IS tank is better. And I think that that's kind of what I'm picking up as well, with how the tank drives and all. So yeah, like I said, this is supposedly an event tank. That is what Wargaming has told me in any case. I do not know how to get it, don't know what you need to do for it. But I'm hoping that it's free for most people. And like I said, I had a bad RNG shot earlier. This one is like good RNG, so I'll take it. And it was a nice shot to end the game with as well. So overall, it's an okay tank. It's not bad. It doesn't fit my playstyle, but it's not bad. It's just not great either. It's got a camo name that I can't pronounce to save my life, so I'm not gonna bother with that. I would just like not do it justice. But I will show it to you a little bit more, because I kind of like the camo. Part of me is like, I'm all for the colorful and non-realistic tanks and everything, but just like this faded color, it's a Czech flag of the Czech Republic, and I like that because of course it's a Czech tank, it's from the European nation and everything, but it kind of looks nice. It's a little bit faded color, and it just works. I kind of like it, so yeah. That's basically it for now. That's my little review of the tank that I don't quite like and I don't quite hate. I hope everyone can get it for free somehow. And that's it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll see you later. Bye bye!